Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Hopefully you can hear me okay. My name's Chris Green, I'm one of the organisers here at Retcon. But joining us this afternoon, we're so excited to have Mikey and Janie, the legendary retro streamers from Twitch, who are going to tell us a little bit about how they got into this, what you find interesting about retro gaming, and just a little bit more about you guys and what it is you do on your channel.
Cool. Don't worry if you don't know who we are, we're just some of those evil Twitch streamers. And we're going to give you general advice on how to become a popular Twitch streamer. Buy a hot tub. That is my advice. Yeah.
And a shark.
Yeah. Hot tub, come in and start licking a microphone.
Yeah, that.
Which is another interesting. But I think the first question, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I mean, I think it'd probably be interesting to everybody just to understand, your background and kind of what you did before, eventually arriving today where you are, as regular retro streamers on Twitch.
Well, thanks, Chris Green. Yeah, so me and Jane met as at drama school. Janie teaches acting. I'm a presenter and an actor, and I do like shows and a bit of TV and other stuff. And during lockdown, when it came to testing, when it came to lockdown, we just decided that we needed to do something.
Mike decided.
Yeah. Other than just sit in the house and eat. So we just out of nowhere started the Twitch channel, and that was 18 months ago. And I think we started at the right time because loads of other people didn't know what to watch, and we're quite a social channel, would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like a pub.
Yeah, it is a bit like a pub. It is a social channel, and I was just saying, when we started it, that's kind of what it felt like. It felt like we were in a pub with our mates, having a laugh, playing some video games, chatting, watching stuff that we love to watch. Before we even, started streaming, we'd sit and watch Challenge, we'd sit and watch Bullseye. We love all that, old stuff.
Yeah, it's like going to a pub with a Vic 20 and a SCART lead. And that's kind of what our channel is. So we're part, as you will know, Chris, we're part retro gaming, and we always use the original hardware. So we've had a lot of that bought by the people that support us on Twitch. So we've got 12 or 13 original machines now. Yeah. So we do that. Plus we also react to old game shows. Which is
pretty amazing when you think about what we started off with in terms of real hardware, what we got. What had we got?
When we started, Spectrum. All we had was a Spectrum,
yeah,
and now we've got the lot. And I've got every conceivable way of connecting those machines to a TV.
You do actually.
I've got the lot, and it's like two big tubs of all this stuff with all these different SCART leads all strangling each other and different power solutions and different. So we've become a bit of a sort of cash converter of all these old machines. Yeah.
Leads constantly turn up at my house, and I'm like, not another. Why do we need any more? And it does infuriate me a little bit, but then when I sit down, because obviously Mikey sets all this up and puts all this effort in, and I sit down and things work and things go, and then he actually breaks it down to me, and I'm like, you know what, that's, wow, how have you done that?
My wife doesn't understand the true value of RGB over S-video, right? She don't get it, but I'm there for her,
But yeah.
It's a long-term educational challenge, we know that.
I'm working on her, yeah.
But I think probably one of the first things I want to talk about is you took a very interesting slant when you got into this. A lot of streamers, have taken arguably I suppose the easier, the lower cost route.
Sorry, Chris, a little bit louder. Sorry to interrupt, mate.
So it's just this seems to be as loud as this mic goes, unfortunately.
Okay, sorry.
I'm having to yell into it. So
I will.
I mean, a lot of. Okay, right. Can you hear me now?
How's that?
Has it gone off?
No, it's on.
It's on, and I've got the faders full.
There you go. Pass it with me.
Oh, that one's really low. Do you have that one?
Trying to turn the game on.
Oh, okay, that one's really low.
There we go.
Right.
Now we've got a proper.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, that is loud, isn't it?
Right, we'll share this.
We'll share.
Okay. So, back to work. The first thing I want to talk about was that you took a decision, which I think is very brave, coming in quite recently into streaming, that you wanted to go down the original hardware route. Many of your contemporaries are doing most of their actual streaming with emulators. You've gone down the route of original hardware, and all the foibles and reliability issues that comes with it.
We find people who emulate very untrustworthy, Chris. We're very suspicious of people that emulate. Because if they've not got real games, what else are they hiding? Do you know what I mean? That's how we see it in Duck.
Oh, that's how you see it. You see it.
But I mean, you've managed to gather a number of systems, through Patreon and donations from viewers and things like that. So
you as well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I may have ponied up the odd motherboard here and there. But tell us, so what are the systems now that you're actually streaming with on a regular basis?
Well, it might be more fun to see how many of our systems Jane knows the name of, because I could take you through, but go on.
Amiga. We have done the Amiga quite a bit.
Yep.
The Commodore, that makes an appearance. The MSX, that also makes an appearance. The Spectrum.
She's doing pretty well, to be fair.
Spectrum. We have got. I've said the Toshiba MXN.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We've got the Nintendo, so we've got like the SNES, the Super Nintendo. Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
I knew you'd try and catch me out. We have also got our Mega Drive, our Master System. Have we got more?
What's that new one?
Oh, Acorn Electron. God, yeah, it literally came last week. That obviously.
Yeah.
Is there more?
Simon gave us a PC Engine today.
Oh. A PC Engine.
And, of course, the...
Oh, Amstrad! The Amstrad.
How could you forget the star of the show?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, the Amstrad, yeah. Any more? Oh, did it do quite well then?
That'll do, yeah.
Do I win anything?
Didn't she do well? But it's funny because it's all very well having the machine, but then you've got to work out a way of capturing it into Twitch, which is quite difficult in some cases, and our viewers are quite, it's a bit fuzzy, so you've then got to change it. But also you've got to find a way of getting a game onto it. Because if you're doing a Twitch stream, you can't go give me 10 minutes while I load in IK Plus. You've got to have a SD card solution for all these different machines. So pretty much a good chunk, if not all, of our Twitch income is on various different weird devices and things. So we've become experts on, if you rocked up now, you could pretty much tell me any 8-bit or 16-bit computer, and I could tell you the perfect way to capture it, the perfect way to pirate it, and the perfect way to get a game onto it. Which is not very useful knowledge around Wigan, but it's amazing how we've actually become experts in that.
Well, you.
Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, it's a lot of systems. I think no one can argue that you put on a really diverse show when it comes to your retro gaming, and then obviously you intersperse it with all the other great stuff that you've been doing. I mean, probably the other thing we should really talk about is that, alongside your non-computer gaming stuff, so your reactions to videos, your watch-alongs, but you've been doing some really innovative stuff with interactive quizzes. And I think it's reasonable to say you've been kind of groundbreaking even amongst the UK streamers with what you've been doing there. And we've put a lot of work into devising, big multiplayer interactive quizzes from scratch, which have kept a lot of people sort of occupied during lockdown.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, Chris. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we do. We used to watch a lot of old game shows on stream, if you remember, Catchphrase and the Generation Game, Bullseye, Strike It Lucky, Play Cards Right.
Yeah.
And then we decided what we wanted to do is we wanted the people at home to be able to play it, but there's no way of doing that. You can play what's it called? Jackbox.
Yeah,
Jackbox. You can play Jackbox, but there's nobody who's made a kind of 3-2-1 emulator. If anyone knows what 3-2-1 is. Don't worry about it. But there's no way of playing these old game shows. Blockbusters is a good example, a game show from the 80s. Nobody's made a way of people playing that at home and playing along with you. So I used to do a lot of computer programming, and so again with lots of time on my hands during lockdown, I actually built engines to make these things work. So we've had you can have 50 viewers all playing blockbusters with us on the phone, and they've got to choose. They all vote for which letter comes up next, and then they have to answer the question and everything. So that's been really good fun, and we do Wheel of Fortune, don't we?
Yeah. But what has been interesting is the evolution of, because it started off as we brought a dartboard, set the camera up,
Did bullseye.
and did bullseye, and people could gamble channel points. So that was the first stage of it being interactive, and then the next stage was right, how do we get people? And now we're at a point where we do it like that, and then also people coming in on Zoom. That's always, I love it when people come in on Zoom, where just the evolution of, we started like that and now it's full on quizzing with our viewers.
Yeah, totally. So we're pretty sure that we are the only Twitch channel who've been banned for accidentally playing a BBC One documentary with a naked woman in it. But secondly, the only Twitch channel where you can sit on your phone and play blockbusters with us and play along.
Yeah.
So if we achieve nothing else in our lives, which is probably the case, we're pleased about that.
Yeah, we are chuffed about that.
No, I think it's a definite accomplishment, and it's really, I think it's given a lot of what you guys have been doing, a real distinct, I suppose, differentiator. Which brings us back to, I suppose, with all the things you have been doing, and Gibson, kind of what your favourites are. So from the computer systems and the games that you've been playing, what are your faves that you've come across so far?
Well, Jane's the gamer, so it's probably better.
Well, I'm not really. I'm a new gamer, and I'm learning every week when I sit down. But I do, when I sit down and the Amiga's in front of me, I'm oh yeah. That I like playing with games on the Amiga. So if Mikey said, "Oh, what shall we do tonight?" I'll say Amiga.
And what's the appeal over a retro system like, say, the Amiga versus, say, a PlayStation 4 and the latest Call of Duty?
Well, I've never played on a PlayStation 4, so I really not. But I like how the Amiga looks. I like how it feels, and I like.
It's a sexy machine.
It is, yeah. It is. It's good looking. It's hot stuff. The Amiga is. And
You like to beat it down the Weatherspoons, you know what I mean?
and I like I know I use my quick shot, and that's always a thing, and I like using that with the Amiga.
She likes proper choice.
I like Paperboy on the Amiga.
Jane has played Paperboy on every single system, including the other night the Acorn Electron, and we could not believe how rubbish it was. I was just checking for kids. It's absolutely awful on the Acorn Electron, bless it. It doesn't help that my Acorn Electron, the H key and the question mark key don't work, and it uses the question mark key to turn left. So yeah, these are the fun and games of old systems. But we always try and, when we bring the systems out, you'll know this, we've got second and third cameras. So you have our camera, and then we go, oh right, here we go, and we go on to the next camera, and you can actually see the machine, and I'll show you how we plug it in, and I'll show you the dodgy H key and the question mark key, and the fact that the cartridge is hanging out the back, and it's just all the ins and outs of actually owning and using old machines.
That's just part of doing real hardware, isn't it? That's all part and parcel of why we want to do real hardware, so you can get to see those things, you can get to see how it all comes together as opposed to emulation.
Well, it's hard to be different on Twitch as well, so you need something that's different. So for us, it's real hardware, and the fact that we recreate game shows and stuff. Because the funny thing about Twitch, the best thing about Twitch, but also the funny thing about Twitch, is that it's quite a small community of retro streamers, and we all share the same viewers, right? And one of us does something one week, and next week, magically, someone else is doing what they did last week. And then we're all sort of copying each other, and then it just sort of, I suppose that's how evolution works. It's
take inspiration from what you see and think, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put this on it, or I'll do this, or I'll try it this way.
You're making it sound very heroic, but we just copy each other, that's...
Now, obviously, a lot of what you do, not just the gaming, but the TV and that, a lot of it is what we call retro. I mean, it's not. It's from the previous decade or the previous couple of decades. What is the appeal of this for you? I mean, is it about recapturing your childhood, or getting a second shot at the things you didn't get a chance to do when you were younger? Why so much retro focus?
I've no idea. I've absolutely no idea how we ended up doing retro.
I think like
We used to watch a lot of retro streamers, didn't we?
and also
Like the previous stuff, it's comfortable. It's comfortable. You know, I much prefer to watch like older stuff, old game shows, like Strike It Lucky. I could just sit and watch that all day. Yeah, and because I know what's happening, I know it's going to be funny, I know it's innocent, I don't know, I just.
And also, like games-wise, the machines give you games where you can just get into them, especially if you're a streamer. You don't want to be watching a cutscene for 10 minutes of somebody hugging someone in darkness. It's like, what's this about? Like all the cutscenes and stuff, we just don't.
Yeah.
We've got no time for it all. In fact, like Jane's famous. If she puts a game on and it turns out to be a strategy game, she'll spot it a mile off. Oh, this isn't for me. Turn this
I
off.
can't. I don't know. I just
Any plot,
RPG games.
strategy,
RPG games,
thoughts, anything like that, we're not interested. So we like the old machines because you just get in, you can just play the game. It's brilliant.
But let me add to that. I think if I wasn't on stream and I was sat alone and I hadn't got like people watching, I'd probably give it much more time of day and try and get my head around it and have a play.
You can still turn it off.
I would eventually, but I would give it more of a chance. More than 3 seconds. If like, no, not for me. I would give it more of a chance.
Also, it's just nice, to be honest. I know this sounds bad, but I think the 8-bit machines and the 16-bit machines are just gorgeous ornaments. They just look ace in your house. They're all so nice and so beautiful and so well crafted and so different. You know, if you go to PC World now and look at all the PCs, they all look kind of the same. Whereas, like, all these machines are all different. They're all different sizes, colours.
Works.
It's just it's absolutely brilliant to have them just there on your shelf in our little studio and just see them and think, wow, that's amazing. It's like having your own little retro gaming museum.
That's cool.
Ooh, there's an idea.
And speaking of which, you know, are there any other systems that you want to add to the collection? Have you spotted anything out there in the show hall today that you're thinking you'd love to have one of those and feature it on the stream one time?
That's a Mikey question.
I want a Sega Saturn.
Actually,
Yeah.
I want a GameCube. Don't know.
A GameCube? Oh,
Yeah.
Nintendo GameCube.
Like
Bit modern,
Nintendo,
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
My first experience with playing Tony Hawk's Skater was on the Nintendo GameCube, and it's just kind of stuck. So yeah, I always said like a purple.
The purple one, yeah.
Purple Nintendo GameCube, yeah.
But yeah, Sega Saturn. We wanted Nikon Electron for ages. We've just got one of those. But trying to get an RGB out of that, my God. But yeah, so probably those two. Maybe an original BBC Master, but you need like 5 guys to bring it around your house. They're like massive, aren't they?
And you've got to choose which kidney you want to sell to Thunder.
Yeah, totally. Oh, which reminds me, Sam Coupe.
Yes.
You've got 2 of them out there without an armed guard. Like, these things are insane. Can you imagine like going back in time to, I don't know, 2001 and going to a car boot sale in Burnley and picking up a Sam Coupe for a tenner? Oh, they're so nice as well, aren't they? So
They are.
yeah, so if we could sell a kidney, mine's buggered, but we could sell Jane's kidney
Might be
and get
alright.
a Sam Coupe. They're so nice.
No, the Sam Coupe, I think it's a fascinating machine, and sadly it just came arguably a little bit too late. If it come a bit sooner, I mean, I think it could have really fundamentally changed the Spectrum market.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It just, it was a lot of machines fall foul of being in between generations. They're a bit in between, and so it doesn't really take off because it's neither one thing nor the other. Which is probably why they're so expensive now, because there weren't as many, you know. It's always...
Yeah. Well, look, one last question from me, and we'll see if there's any questions in the audience. You know, where next for your channel? What are you planning to do? What are you hoping to be able to do in the next year?
So, as every Twitch streamer will tell you, we'd like more viewers. Let me go through these. More viewers, more subs,
Yeah, but what we
more. No, this is all we all want. More viewers, more subs. Yeah, you just want to grow the channel.
yeah.
If anyone's got any general questions about Twitch later, do ask, because we've fallen foul of stuff and we can help you with getting started and stuff like that. But Twitch is difficult because it's great because unlike YouTube, in YouTube world, you've got to have hundreds of thousands, millions of people to make anything like an income. Whereas Twitch is more niche and it's more kind of the BBC 4 of live streaming. And so the people that watch you really want to watch you. They don't find you by accident, and so they really support you.
Yeah.
But we just want to build the thing up, grow our community. We've been very lucky how quickly it's all grown. But just build it up and try and think of new ideas, because sometimes you feel bad if you do the same thing all the time. You start to think, oh, people getting bored of this. So try and think of new ideas of having what we love about old machines, doing our nostalgia, doing our interactive quizzes, but keeping it all keeping it all fresh.
Yeah.
And I can't understate enough, more viewers,
More subs.
We're on about it and adding that extra day as well, so that's what we've been talking about.
Oh yeah, Thursdays is going to be the hot tub day.
There is no hot tub streams.
That's
Hot tub and ASMR microphone finagling.
yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's got to be me floating around with a Vic 20 in a jacuzzi.
No, but I think that'll, that's the next step for us. We need to add an extra stream too. We need to add an extra day, extra streams. Yeah.
I went away for 3 weeks, and we had much more viewers while I was away. It was just Jane.
I was emulating.
Right. So yeah, probably a good strategy would be less of me, more of Jane, but then it is Twitch.
You might say that, I couldn't possibly comment. Well, look, while we've got a bit more time, I just want to throw it open to the floor. Are there any questions from the floor that I can put to Mike and Janie? Just shout your question out and I'll repeat them. You, sir.
You thought about any handheld stuff?
Any thoughts on handhelds?
Yeah. So that's a really good point. I'm constantly thinking how cool it would be to have a Game Boy or whatever, a Game Gear, something like that. But because we've hung ourselves on this real hardware thing, it's like, how the hell am I going to get the capture out of that?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I can't, because I've thought I can't with them before. I'll give you an example. We had Commodore 64s are notoriously difficult to get a sharp signal out of that a capture card will like. And to do it, was it last week, guys? We managed to do it last week. But to achieve this, there was 2 different capture cards going through each other. There was an analog to digital converter, a digital to analog converter, and I also had to ground it by plugging the Commodore 64 into a Toshiba HX10 via its video signal to ground the video signal. So it's all full of stuff just to get a decent capture out of a Commodore 64. So the idea of getting a decent capture out of a Game Gear or of a Game Boy is quite scary, but I reckon we can do it.
And I think you quite like the challenge.
I'd like the challenge, and if all else fails, bit of blue tack. Stick it down, bit of blue tack.
Yeah.
Camera over the top.
Camera over the top. But yeah, handhelds are great.
Where are you getting the knowledge from? Are you looking at My Life in Gaming and other YouTubers?
Probably like you, we watch all the great ones, so 8-Bit Guy, LGR, Techmoan, you know the form, all the cool ones, Kim Justice, so many different great streamers and YouTubers who help you out with all this, Man Cave, Mark Fix's stuff, so all that, plus I'm just a massive geek, tech geek.
He is a tech.
Yeah,
Do
so
you make your own cables, or you go retro?
Oh, do you make your own cables?
I have used a lot of sellotape to achieve certain solutions, but yeah, where I don't know how to capture something, or I'm just out of ideas, I reach out to the community. So Flibble, who's there, and Chris have helped me in the past, and so watching great YouTubers, but also just I think you've got to have the geek gene in you to think, oh, I can do this, give me some blue tack, some sellotape, some no more nails, I can fix this, yeah.
It sounds like a sponsorship opportunity from a
blue tack.
a retro cable mate, like retrogamingcables.co.uk or someone.
Oh, now you're talking, yeah, that's a good. We buy a lot of stuff from, is it Cool Novelties? They're really good. Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, product endorsement, this could be the missing third income stream for you.
Yeah. I don't reckon we get blue tack, but we might get white tack. They need the, yeah, might get them.
Any more questions?
Come on, Mikey and Jane, massive. You must have some questions. Oh, go on, yeah.
Go, what's your question?
For Janie, you talk a little bit about the difference between Twitch and YouTube. So you're on Twitch, right? So do you think in the long run it will be more profitable?
Do you think Twitch will be more profitable in the long run over YouTube?
The answer to that is Twitch is more profitable if you're a live streamer. So YouTube is more profitable if you're a content maker. If you're a live streamer, 100%. If you have you got a Twitch channel yet, or have you got?
I just watch.
Yeah, but if you ever think of streaming, Twitch is the place to be. Because on Twitch, people really want to be there and they really want to support you. And there's lots of mechanisms built into Twitch for them to support you easily. So if you're a live streamer, Twitch is definitely the place to be. That's in my opinion. If you're a massive YouTuber who's already established with an audience on there, then yeah, stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
But if you want to start
Having that, isn't it? It's having that massive kind of following that you can, you know.
But we started off with 7 or 8 people watching us that we stole from another community. It was from, there's a really great Amstrad streamer called Zypho, who only streams on a Friday. He only streams from Amstrads, and just he's Mr. Amstrad on YouTube and stuff. He's great, Zypho. So we stole 7 or 8 of his hardcore viewers. That's a good tip. Steal. You know, and then it grew from there. But I would say Twitch is more profitable, definitely more profitable. Have you not seen our Jaguar parked outside? You know, yeah, we haven't got one.
Oh, one more question.
I guess Twitch gives you good analytics and metrics on your viewers.
Amazing, yeah.
Are you seeing any geographies that are unusual, where you got like a big interest in?
Yeah, so where are your viewers coming from? Obviously, I'm assuming the UK is a huge chunk, but what about internationally?
What about the carousel as well?
Yeah.
That always, when we're talking about embedding.
So when you are embedded, like, you can see the difference there, can't you, in the viewers of what you get.
But we're big in Latvia, if that's you. So I don't know what it is like with other retro streamers, but we are 65% UK, about 25% US, because they like Brits, especially Brits that sit and argue for 3 hours. And then the rest of it's just like here, there and everywhere, you know.
You got some Aussies?
Do you know what? No.
Time difference would be difficult.
I think it is the time difference.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because with the Yanks, they're starting to watch in the day when you're sort of doing late at night, and so it's quite funny because some of the Yanks who come on, is Yanks okay to?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
So some of the Yanks who come on, they're just getting up and having a coffee and a Danish, and we're having a few beers, you know, and it's like, these two people doing. But that's the fun of it, really. You know, Secret Life of a Nerd is US. There's quite a few of. But Australia is difficult because Australia is on a different, you know.
Finland.
You'd have to
Finland.
put your camera upside down.
Yeah. But we will break into that Latvian market. You watch.
Yeah.
You watch.
It's right for the picking. Well, look, I'm afraid we're more or less out of time. So before we go, I think it's only appropriate we give you a moment to give your channel a shameless plug.
Thank you very much. Watch Mikey and Janie on Twitch. We are a
Real Hardware Gaming channel. We're on every Sunday and we're on every Tuesday, 8 o'clock sharp. So those are our days, and like we've just mentioned, we are going to be adding another stream. So that's every Sunday and every Tuesday, Mikey and Janie on Twitch.
And if you get there a bit late and we look a bit drunk, it's because we're a bit drunk.
And what we always say is if there's somebody else more interesting that you want to watch, leave us in an open tab and just mute us. Like, we don't mind. We'll just take that music.
Open tablets.
Open
Really love
tablets,
us.
yeah.
Open tablets.
And then you can pop off. We don't mind. Second or third tab, we don't mind.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Mikey and Janie, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you very much.
And if you've got any other twitchy questions when you see us around, just grab us. Anything you want. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.